My name's Dave Dubeau, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave Dubeau. And if you've ever wondered how you can go from a working mom to really diving into the real estate, all while just kind of keeping the husband separate in that, you know, we don't always have to do everything together and still pulling it off in a big way. My guest tonight, Liz. Where are you coming out of, zooming out of, Liz?
I'm in Calgary this evening.
Calgary. There we go. From Calgary. How are you doing tonight?
Very good, thanks. Getting ready for Christmas, and I can't believe it's already there. So the countdown's kind of crazy, but
yeah, I guess next Monday. We're
yeah,
like a week out.
We're a week out.
So
your shopping's done.
Yeah, that's not my part of the business plan. I just I participate. I'm there. And I'm always surprised at what the wife buys for everyone. So that's my involvement in the whole Christmas project. So
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean, someone's more interested and someone's more busy, and it seems to go that way. But yeah, as far as real estate's concerned, how did you get started in this whole thing?
Well, my husband and I moved to Calgary shortly after the birth of our first child. And, you know, you're looking around for a rental property. And I've always come from the mindset of I wanted to own my own instead of pay somebody else's mortgage. And Calgary, you know, Calgary does these ups and downs. And we'd had an up, so prices were a little on the upside. And I was at home with my daughter, so one income. Anyhow, we bought a fix-it-upper. And during the course of the fix-it-upper, I went to a couple of real estate seminars, and we did the renovations, and I loved everything about the process and everything about the presentations and the renovations. And my husband was like, I'm done.
Yeah, he just wants the turnkey thing.
Yep. Let me know when it's over. But we did it all ourselves, sanded floors and drywall. And so it was a great learning project.
Yeah.
And then we rented it and bought another one for ourselves. So it was like a burr without knowing it was a burr. And we did everything pretty much wrong in all of it.
Well, you don't know until you know, right? You got it done. I mean, done is the best type of house that I know of. Like done well, that's good too. But done, that's the primary goal, is that it doesn't get stuck in the middle, or you have to do something, you know, or it doesn't get done at all. So yeah, done is my favorite type. So then you bought another one. Did you follow the same process there?
Yeah, we were a bit better on the budgeting on the second one. And so this was the home that we wanted to stay in, but again, leverage it for the next investment. So we did the renovations here and refinanced that. And then I bought a fourplex. And then I was on my own. Husband's like, go do.
Well, fourplex is nice. You know, you get to stack up the rents. What had you going after a fourplex instead of maybe another single or a duplex, something like that?
I did a bunch of passive investments after that because I also went back to work at the same time. So then I was earning some income. There were some definite renovations that needed to be done at the fourplex. So one at a time I was doing those. There were illegal basement suites. So that was a renovation project. That was a lot of fun. That one, you know, we did all the right stuff in the right budget, and we were able to refinance. I got into helping with the support of a land development project in Ontario with a team. Actually, I jumped in as an investor myself because I thought the project was so good, and then it sort of wasn't going anywhere. And I think that's just because it was a new person on the other side, and she was awesome at figuring out the project, not so much the fundraising. So that was my first taste of fundraising. I got brought on board and did the fundraising for the rest of that. I should say capital raising, not fundraising. Sounds like a charity. And at the same time, I bought 2 student rentals, and the location was phenomenal. I was really hoping to develop those. Calgary's, I ended up selling them about 4 weeks too early. The market rode up and I did really well on that investment. I thought I was going to have to find a different property for my development
Mm-hmm.
simply because of the rules at the time, and the climate in that particular neighborhood was not supporting what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 weeks after I sold it, they changed the rules, and it would have been so easy. But that's okay. I'll find another
Yeah,
one.
you never know. Deals are kind of like buses. There's always another one coming, and you can
Yeah.
always catch the next one. But so what are you doing for real estate these days?
I am on the hunt for that development lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I have also put in an offer on an eightplex again near the university.
Mm-hmm.
It's I really like the student rentals. Calgary is very friendly in terms of landlord rules. Um, we can more or less do what we want with the rent, but then
Mm-hmm.
the market will tell you you've charged too much and nobody's going to get it because they can get it somewhere cheaper
Mm-hmm. It's
somewhere else.
competitive.
So yeah, it is very competitive. Um, but at the same time, if people are misbehaving, you do have options to evict. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like the Wild West. There are rules, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's not like Ontario and BC here, which is just locked down. So yeah, I figured an Aplex would be a good next step, and it's near the university, and that has a natural turnover with the students. They'll stay for
Mm-hmm.
2, maybe 3 years, and I have kids who are that age now, and
You
I'm very
understand the mindset of
yeah.
of your tenants very well then.
Yeah, I feel like mom when I'm doing that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had 10 student tenants in the last couple of years, and they were all great kids. These days, university, they're working so much harder than seems when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
it's
it
been
used to be
it's been great.
you could go to university and maybe not work, but now it's you're at university all day and then you're at work all night, and you might even have two jobs where you're working something on Saturday just to afford just to survive. So yeah, they're definitely working a lot harder than maybe we had to back in the day.
Yeah,
So student rentals and multis is really interesting to you, but you mentioned this multi-family deal that you're putting together. You've got this thing that has got you excited. Tell me a little bit more about that project.
that's the eightplex. That's so it's an older building in an
Mm-hmm.
absolutely beautiful location, and the debate would be I don't know, like it's small enough that I don't think we have this government funding program, CMI, MLI Select. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you're,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it could do that, but it's almost like too small for that. It could be
Mm.
something that would just go through in a normal JV.
Yeah.
And that way, you wouldn't have to do all the renovations to qualify for the MLI Select. Just do it so that keep it clean, keep it running for the next few years. Then probably redevelop that because it is a commercial lot in a commercial location. It could, a couple of towers have gone up around that. So that would be something I could develop on paper and then sell to the builder
Mm-hmm.
for a nice turnover.
Yeah, do like the groundwork to make it like ready for them to take over the project and just take it, hold
Yeah.
essentially you're holding land with a rental on it for
And
futures, instead of having to renovate the whole thing. You could
yeah,
just make it rent it, wait it, maybe even at that point decide to do it yourself.
yeah, if I've got those chops by then for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of I guess that's kind of how you get those chops is by getting in there and trying your hand at it. But I guess it's not for everyone. Some people want to stick to what they know. Like me, I like to stick to what I know. So,
Yeah.
um, when it comes to real estate, what do you think your secret sauce is? What comes easy to you that other people might find difficult to do?
I love Excel spreadsheets. I'm pretty happy in the numbers.
Mm.
Um,
Some people
I,
just want to get it done quickly and be like, even on a napkin or something, they just want to, oh yeah, it works out. I did the numbers.
yeah,
You prefer
yeah.
to
So
take a deeper dive into the numbers.
yeah, I'm happy with the numbers. I'm I love people. I've managed all my own properties so far,
Hmm.
and I haven't found it a problem. Touch wood. We've
Hmm.
had our own challenges. We've had some really interesting things. Nothing totally wild. Um, ev- things I've always been able to just cope with, so I don't find it overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people just totally hate that side of things. So it hasn't been a huge time sink for me. I've been able to do it and carry on, which of course you keep a little bit more money in your pocket that way.
Mm-hmm.
If it became a huge time sink, I would be happy to hand that off as well. But so far, so good. So yeah, I'm happy with the numbers. I'm happy with the ideas. I'm not overly scared by the projects. I can get my head around those. That's fine. I'm comfortable with the renovation side of things. I think what I'm not so great at is finding the projects. Like it's still working through the realtors and the MLS. And I think
Mm-hmm.
in this market, especially in Calgary, it's a little bit of a closed circle. So you need to
Yeah.
do a couple of those bigger projects before I have access to the people who are doing things maybe not on MLS.
Yeah, and the inventory is tight these days. Not a lot of people are selling what it is that they have because then they have to go and then buy something else, especially if they're
Right.
living in it. So it can be a little challenging on MLS, but you're right. There is a certain amount of gatekeeping in the club that you have to kind of show that you're worthy, and maybe you can get a deal that way
Yeah.
from the insiders, right? So
Yeah.
what are you doing these days to fund these projects?
Um, so that is the new part for me. Apart from doing the capital raise for the Ontario Land Development,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to set myself up to do the capital raise for, if it's not this eightplex, then it will be something similar in Calgary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So developing, it all used to be enough with the people I knew in the circles that I knew, but
Mm-hmm.
and it was fine just to be, hey, it's Liz, and we all chat. But so now I'm getting a website created and a bit of branding done and updating
Mm-hmm.
my logo, because you need to be one professional too. And if there's people that don't particularly know me, they
Mm-hmm.
need to have somewhere to look me up and see what I've done and who I am, and you know that
Yeah,
I
you have to be
exist.
kind of yeah, you have to be kind of consumable. It's everyone, the
Yeah,
first thing they do is they Google you and whatever they find, and the
exactly.
absences might be worse than something bad, just, oh, why aren't they on it at all? So we do, I remember my mentor used to say, live as a brand or die as a commodity. And so if you're not available, no one really knows what brand of milk they have in the fridge. They know they have milk. So
Right.
we want to be branded up so that we can be set apart from the crowd. So as far as, you're building the website and things like that, have you had any success with reaching beyond your close circle so far?
Um, I haven't actually. A big part of this is taking that step to branch into personal circle. I have kept real estate and my personal life 100% separate.
Mm,
And so once I'm doing projects of my own like this, then
hmm.
I'm quite happy to start reaching out to friends and family that
Hmm.
I know could benefit from an investment like this, and who are able to do investments like this. But I feel I need the polished package to show them, as well as at the
Hmm.
same time in reaching out to the investor community, because there are always investors out there too.
Yeah, definitely. So, um, when it comes to expanding your network of prospective investors, um, the website and things like that, but are you doing any networking events? Are you attending any local networking? And what's your experience so
Sure.
far?
Yeah, we've got lots of little networking events here in Calgary. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to say names.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, we have a local Keyspire chapter. We have an
Hmm.
Ignited group, all those different Facebook groups, and we meet up in person as well. So, reaching out to people online, having those one-on-one conversations as well.
Hmm.
The one-on-ones are always best, but of course, you need to go to the networking events just to be fresh in people's minds.
Hmm.
And I'm starting to get together a bit of a planned schedule of how to just have regular posts that are of some interest and value. on, Facebook and Instagram and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So that should help. So what have you found to be most effective with keeping in touch with your prospects that you're looking at as far as when you're raising capital? Do you have a database, CRM, for
I
people
have
who
a
are getting
spreadsheet at
started?
this
Yeah.
point. I don't have enough. Well, I'm comfortable in spreadsheets, as I said, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
have enough of a volume that I would need an application for at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I have spreadsheets for the properties that I've looked at so I can compare prices and values and things like that, do the analysis
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
compare between each other. And I have spreadsheets for contacts and who they are, what they're interested in, what they're looking for, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So when you're presenting these deals, like you did the capital raise for a multifamily, I think he had mentioned. How do you go about bringing that information to them? What sort of tools are you using to actually present these deals to your investors?
Yeah, for the land development deal, we had it had its own website, and then we were simply doing fairly regular posts and
Mhm.
appearing in the different groups. Who has an update and who has an opportunity, and we would speak up, and people would reach out, or we would reach out to specific people ourselves if we thought they were a good candidate, and
Mhm.
just from there boil down to those one-on-one conversations.
Yeah. So like fairly like did you have a pitch deck or a presentation that you would go
Sure. Yeah,
walk them
we
through?
absolutely. Yeah, sorry, we had a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Two, one that was sort of the more high level summary for people that weren't ready to dive in just yet. We also had like a pamphlet done up on PowerPoint that we saved as a PDF that we could send
Mhm.
out for people who just tell me some more about it. Okay, here it is.
Mhm.
Um, and then for when we had those deeper dive meetings, we did have a PowerPoint presentation that I would go through depend and just gauge based on the
Mhm.
person, how much information they want, how much detail they want. Some people want the numbers, some people don't.
Mhm.
When you're talking to them and you find out more about what they're looking for and who they are, and yeah,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
that's how I would decide what to show to whom.
Well, I like that idea of having two different presentations, one for getting them kind of interested, and then you could take them to the second one where it's like, here, okay, here's the actual, the nuts and bolts of the thing to see if like
Yeah.
how committed are you? Because this is the reality of the situation. So I like that two layers to the pitch deck. So,
Mhm.
for people to invest significant amounts of capital with you, they typically need to know, and trust you. What are you doing for that sort of thing as far as building out your current branding?
So I'm fairly active in the sites that I'm in,
Hmm.
that I participate in. I don't do enough posting. I'm always being told I should post more and share
Hmm.
more, but I'm pretty good at answering the questions when people
Hmm.
are looking for things. I'm quite happy to share knowledge if people need help. But yep, you can reach out to me. I'll help you with that. So it's sort of the participation.
Yeah.
COVID was very kind to uh, online world. I mean, it
Hmm.
was terrible in so many ways, but people got used to getting to know people online.
Hmm.
So that's
It's almost
actually
much rather than go to a networking event. They just want to hang out on their couch and be in the message board and reply to different people. And because you
right.
can, it's interesting when you bring that up. You say, okay, well, let's say you put your best clothes on, you go down to the local networking event, and it's like 10 or 20 or maybe even 50 people. If you spent that same 4 hours posting online somewhere, whatever group it is, like what kind of
Yeah.
impact can you have in 4 dedicated hours that you would dedicate to going?
You could
I mean,
plan
I
your
like,
month of posts. You could,
yeah, you could just be on there and just replying to everything. I mean, the
yeah,
thing I like about going to the in-person events is it does allow you to gather social media, where you're
yes.
dressed well and there's people and you're shaking hands and that sort of thing. But
Oh, look, other
Definitely.
people know that person. Other people like that person.
Yeah, look, they're shaking hands. It must be a legitimate investor. So yeah, definitely you can see the value of doing that for sure. So um, when you're thinking about what sort of stuff to post, what's your approach when you're trying to help people out on these different forums that you found is working well for you?
Well, I'm doing a mix of things. I've chosen, say, 4 topics, and then I just think of the things I like for those topics. So, um, my market, Calgary, what's happening in the Calgary market? There's an awful lot happening in the Calgary market. So,
Mhm.
those sorts of updates. Um, and then answering challenging questions in terms of problems that you've seen people bump into or making suggestions.
Mhm.
Um, and the other one is just, sorry, there's 2 more. The experiences that I'm going through, like my challenges with
Mhm.
my tenants, or thought this was an easy toilet fix and look, it's completely corroded. That one got a
Yeah.
lot of reactions. And then some personal stuff. I mix in the personal stuff just to who am I kind of thing.
Yeah, I find too, um, one that maybe you didn't touch on, but you probably do, is like people with mindset challenges where they're
Mhm.
feeling down about their progress or something like that, and they just need like an encouraging word. That's one that I find that's all over the message boards. It's like, I've been doing this forever and I can't get a deal, or I failed to get the money together again. Like maybe I should just quit. That usually is really helpful for people like when they're stuck in that corner. If you have you noticed that as well?
Oh, for sure. Like the groups that I am in, I think I've stayed with them as long as I have because they're very supportive.
Mm,
Even just from the first introduction, people are encouraged to do a fairly detailed introduction, and people reach
hmm
out. And, I'm in your area, I'm in your market, call me. And then if anybody's down or they're struggling, the support just swarms in. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're listening along at home, don't isolate yourself. Like join these
No.
groups. A lot of them are free. You don't even need to pay anything to be in them. They're there for people to join, and you just got to participate. Really, that's the key. So if people want to connect with you, Liz, they want to reach out, they want to invest with you, what should they do? How do they find you?
Mostly Facebook. I'm on Facebook. It's Liz Hale Boyes REI, and
I think you
soon
should
to come.
spell that for the people listening at home, because I can see it on my screen, but it might not be so obvious. Liz,
Okay, underscore Hale Boyes, HALE, B is in boy, BOYES,
there it is.
underscore REI, real estate investor.
Yeah, that it's the boys thing I think would throw people out. So now we got it locked down. I really appreciate your time, Liz, and yeah, I wish you all the luck with your upcoming eightplex project and all the capital you're going to raise.
Thanks so much. It's been fun.
Yeah, no problem. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.